You missed some important news from the LGBTQ plus community this week. To ensure you are current, we are recapping that important news. Here's what you may have missed.
Thousands of Catholic nuns unite to wholeheartedly declare trans people are beloved by God. A group of over 6,000 Catholic nuns has joined the fight for trans rights, writing in an open letter that trans and non-binary people are, quote, beloved and cherished by God, end quote. The Sisters of St. Joseph Federation and several other Catholic organizations published an open letter on Trans Day of Visibility that supports the LGBTQ plus community and criticizes the recent influx of oppressive and discriminatory legislation sweeping the U.S. The letter read, quote, "We mark March 31st, International Day of Transgender Visibility, as a time to celebrate and acknowledge and uplift folks who identify as transgender, non-binary, and/or gender expansive. We know our actions and commitments must extend beyond this day's observance," end quote. The nuns' letter added that trans people in the United States are experiencing harm and erasure due to anti-LGBTQ plus legislation, discrimination, and harmful rhetoric from some Christian institutions, including the Catholic Church. The Catholic groups who signed the letter share a wish to provide deep belonging for trans people in the church, and even went as far as to say that the church will become an oppressor unless it accepts the LGBTQ plus community. This message of LGBTQ plus acceptance comes shortly after Pope Francis' clarification in January that although he doesn't think being gay is a crime, he still believes that homosexuality is a sin.
$175,000 has been awarded to South Florida gay conversion therapy providers in a federal judgment. The city of Boca Raton banned gay conversion therapy, a practice the United Nations has characterized as torture. A federal appeals judge would later strike down the city's ban. Today, a federal judge has ordered Palm Beach County and the city of Boca Raton to pay $175,000 to two family therapists who challenged a local ban on gay conversion therapy for minors struggling with their sexuality, gender identity, and their faith. Robert Otto and Julie Hamilton ran afoul of Boca Raton's ban on conversion therapy, which considered the practice harmful to the health and emotional development of lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, and other youth. A district court has upheld the law, but Otto and Hamilton appealed backed by a religious liberty advocate group called Liberty Counsel. In 2020, the 11th Circuit Court of Appeals ruled in favor of Otto and Hamilton. Judge Britt Grant wrote, quote, "We hold that the challenge ordinances violate the First Amendment because they are content-based regulations of speech that cannot survive strict scrutiny," end quote. The U.S. District Judge Robert Rosenberg said Otto will receive $50,000 from the county and another $50,000 from the city, while Hamilton will get $50,000 from the county and $25,000 from the city. Matt Staver, founder and chairman of Liberty Counsel, a legal religious freedom advocacy group representing the therapists, said the difference between the awards was to do with the extent of each therapist's practice in Boca Raton. Staver said, quote, "The legal ruling prioritizes the First Amendment rights of the therapist and the clients who seek their services over the opinions of third-party groups," end quote. Opponents of conversion therapy say it fails teenagers by directing them toward an unobtainable outcome, according to an amicus brief filed in the case by the National Center for Lesbian Rights. The American Psychological Association has also weighed in against conversion therapy. The judge will determine the amount due to Otto and Hamilton's lawyers at a later date.
Despite what DeSantis says, woke doesn't go broke. Get woke, go broke has become a rallying cry of the political right whenever a brand makes the slightest effort to align itself with liberal or progressive values. It's a meme that allows MAGA country to believe that there is an ongoing massive backlash to products that acknowledge and celebrate marginalized communities. But the supposed boycotts never seem to reflect in the bottom line. Besides, conservatives already move on to the next outrage by the time we expect to notice any effect. Kid Rock and Travis Tritt declared war last week against brewer Anheuser-Busch for a Bud Light partnership with trans anchor Dylan Mulvaney. Yet the focus has already shifted to the whiskey Jack Daniels because of its ad campaign featuring drag queens, which happens to be from 2021. With all these companies, these grievances peddlers are trying to destroy, it's unsurprising that some have slipped through the cracks. Though the U.S. economy is facing headwinds and earnings may be down across the board for the first fiscal quarter of 2023, there's ample evidence that major brands tend to easily weather anti-woke furor. The right-wingers vowed to ruin some brands such as United Airlines, Keurig, Carhartt, more, but failed in the aftermath. Estimates show that the global LGBTQ+ community has at least $3.7 trillion in purchasing power, and data indicates that compared to generic ads, queer inclusive ads can help consumers remember brands better, inspire higher price purchases, and foster a more progressive company image.
Dylan Mulvaney causes a stir as spokesperson for Bud Light and Nike. Major brands are now increasingly partnering with transgender actors and influencers in their ad campaigns, with massive support from the LGBTQ+ community and its allies. However, brands like Bud Light and Nike have come under fire for featuring trans influencers like Dylan Mulvaney in the face of growing anti-trans hate and legislation. Mulvaney's posts were flooded with aggressive comments and threats to boycott the companies. Countless videos appeared online throwing Bud Light beer into the trash and pouring it down the drain. Despite often being the targets of criticism from online trolls and conservative public figures, advertising shows no sign of slowing down in trans representation and continues to symbolize allyship. Transgender representation in advertising has come a long way over the decades since subtle, queer-coded messaging first began popping up 40 years ago when marketers described it as our little secret in the 1990s. However, as anti-trans discrimination persists and transgender people continue to be targeted in America's political culture wars, progressive companies and trans brand representatives face conservative condemnation.
Let's queer up entertainment. Netflix queer dating show, The Ultimatum, releases first trailer.
I don't even want to say her name anymore. She's like Voldemort to me.
The experience was 10 people coming here, meeting other people who you could find something with. What did you come here for?
Hello, everyone.
Hello.
You're all here because someone in your relationship has issued an ultimatum.
Everybody look, everybody stare.
Each of you are compatible with multiple people here.
Someone here could be a good fit for me.
I am ready to spend the rest of my life with somebody.
But I'm not ready to commit to marriage.
So I gave an ultimatum.
Either I leave here engaged or we're done. I want to get married to this person. I want to bring children into the world with this person.
I don't want permanency. I don't want stability. I want freedom.
I want to live with you for 5 years and then I'm open to it.
I don't want to go into a marriage having these issues. If you don't like my dog, you can get the fuck out. Sometimes you can't see when the person is right in front of you.
I just wanna be close.
You came in here with an ultimatum. You knew what you wanted, and now you don't. You can't have us both. Let me find somebody who's ready. You said you wanted to marry me, but you fell in love with someone else in a week and a half. You wanted me to figure out what I wanted, and I
wanted
did that.
you to find out if that was me.
You were trying to stir the pot.
She's playing with our life.
I didn't do shit. What do you want from me? This is too late. This is absolutely too late.
This situation is just fucked up.
Trash.
Sometimes love is not enough.
5 new couples are set to meet their partner's demands for marriage or break up on the newest iteration of Netflix's The Ultimatum. The streamer released a trailer for The Ultimatum, Queer Love, Sunday night during the botched Love is Blind live reunion, featuring all LGBTQ+ couples on The Ultimatum for the first time. The premise of the show is the same as the previous edition of The Ultimatum. One partner wants to get married while the other has doubts. The couple has just over 8 weeks to decide to get married or break up, as they are surrounded by other compatible matches.
Keep watching the only television news in the world from our LGBTQ+ community and stay informed on everything that is important for and about our diverse LGBTQ+ community.